Hi guys, it's Dish Dude. I know I haven't put out a video in a long time, and that's because I've been really busy. I am now a college student, and so I have a lot less time on my hands than I used to. I also worked a pretty much full-time job over the summer, so that also cut down on my time. But that being said, I do want to give you a quick channel update and just show you all the cars I brought down to college, and then I give you all a quick update with like the other cars I've gotten since my last video. Okay, so my first car that I brought to college with me, I'm just going to turn my phone around. I got a new phone, so hopefully my camera recording is a little bit better. I got a Traxxas revo, and this car is definitely one of the favorite cars that I've ever owned. And I can take it out here and show you why. Now, I bought this car used on eBay, and buying it used it's been kind of a regret, because there's been a lot of problems with it that I wouldn't have if I had bought the just new car. So, clipless body system, really nice. So I actually bought two e-revos at the same time. One of them was like fully loaded with upgrades, but I'm pretty sure it was like the first gen e-revo 2.0, and then this one's the second gen. And I think that because the front and rear diffs are slightly different. So the ones in the e-revo for the new one are bigger and beefier than the ones like the first gen. The ones in the first gen are from the Revo 3.3, and considering this is putting down significantly more torque than the Revo 3.3, I'm pretty sure they're having some problems with them braking, and so they upgraded them for this car. But I'll just go over the upgrades that I've done to this car and how I bought it. So it came with long travel suspension in the back. I broke this right here. If you can't see that, plastic's a little bit different. After landing a jump, and then I just plastic welded it back together, and I haven't broken it again. So if you need to plastic weld something, it might work. The other thing, it also came with a wheelie bar, so that's been pretty good because this thing wheelies insane. It came with the red upgraded rear caster links. I don't know, those aren't called caster links. I forgot their name. And then I did try to upgrade to some telescoping drive shafts, like this one here, but I paid $74 for them, for two, I think. And I have broken all but one, which is this one here. And they've all broken in the same spot, which was right there. This part would just, this little small part right here would twist and then shear off. I don't have any of the other axles that are broken, so I can't show you what it looked like. The other upgrade that's done to the truck is the aluminum rear shock tower brace, and I put some green wheels on it just because I like the way they look. This car originally came with a Castle Mamba X ESC, but that didn't have all the Traxxas features that I like, such as training mode and stuff like that. So I went ahead, and when I bought the second Revo, I bought a new ESC for this car and just stuck that in one of the old one. The other one was a roller, and I didn't know that until after I bought it, so that's the reason I did that. The other electronics upgrade I did, well, that's not an electronics upgrade, that's keeping it stock. The other electronics that are there are the servos. Now these are 25 kilograms centimeters. It's about 330 ounce inches, not pound foot, of torque per servo. And these were like $14 each, and they're aluminum cased. I don't have a ring on, so I can't like show you that they're aluminum, but they're aluminum cased. They are super strong. And then for the receiver, I have this 6-channel Dumbo RC receiver. This receiver has 500 meters of range. Now, I'm America, so I don't exactly know what that is. But anyway, that's a lot of range. And then what this receiver has that Traxxas don't have, besides more channels, is dual rates. So I've got my trim adjustments here steering and throttle, and then my steering and throttle dual rates here. I keep the throttle on 0 dual rate while I'm not running it, just because that means I was most likely fixing it last. And then the batteries I keep them all over here in this Dupu RC Kevlar bag. I'm running these Zop Power 5000 milliamp hour 60C with XT60 connectors. And then that's why I have the Traxxas XT60 connectors there. I'm also running Zop Powers for some of my other cars. These 5500 milliamp hour 75Cs. I like the off-brands if you can't tell, because they're cheaper and work just as well. Okay, so that's that. The chargers that I use, I recently upgraded to these B6V3 chargers. They are multi-compatible. They can do 2 to 6S at up to 6 amps charge rate. They have discharge, and they can charge nickel metal hydride, nickel cadmium, and the lead acid like your car batteries, along with lipos and life. So really handy. And then I bought these little squid plugs or octopus plugs, whatever you want to call them, for $5. Banggood is the way to go for those chargers, the squid plugs, the batteries, and all that kind of stuff. That's where I've got like all the stuff from. And then this is what the box looks like for the B6V3. They're made by 7-Chip. And this is what comes with in the box. You get your charger, the banana to Dean's, and then a Dean's to XT60. The XT90 on here is so I can charge the batteries for a different car. And then you also get this kind of other adapter. You get some alligator clips. You get like your servo clip, a JST plug, and then I'm not sure what this is. And then you get your instructions. It doesn't come with the power cord, so you will need to supply that on your own. So what I did was I just looked for one that came with the power cord and then bought that one. Okay, so the other two cars I bought to college. Oops, I'm holding my phone sideways now. I got my Traxxas Rustler. It's still the standard TQI system, but I have done some serious upgrades to this car. Starting with the brushless system. I'll just go there. Traxxas 3S Velineon brushless system. Brutal power. What I gotta say. It does wheelies all day long. I can easily pull like a 100-yard wheelie. And if y'all don't know, I mean, that's the length of a football field. Upgraded to Energy steel axles, both sides. Still got the Traxxas receiver, ESC, and all in the servo. Okay, so a lot of people say the Traxxas servos suck. I have never had an issue with this servo, and that's like the only electronic part I haven't. My Traxxas Stampede, y'all have seen that in other videos. I have gotten water inside the waterproof box. I have melted 2 ESCs from Traxxas. Burned out 3 of these Velineon motors, but I have never had problems with Traxxas servos. Weird, I know. Okay, that's everything to that car. This car is so fun, but you do have to use body washers now because, yeah, it's brutal. There's the revo again. This little car is the newest one to my collection. It's just a little Traxxas Teton. It's a brushed 4-wheel drive. It does 17 miles an hour. I've GPS'd it, so that's pretty good. These tires they're pretty squishy, but like the tread pattern doesn't provide like any grip It's just bad design. But they do come with oil fill shocks. Comes with a battery. This battery gives about 20 minutes of runtime, and then it charges in 30 minutes with those 7-chip chargers. So that's really good. And then I just have the standard Trax radio with it. And then I have one more car down here. The Armaniro with the diff brain. So this car it's a pretty big car, and bringing it down here is not fun because I had to carry it. And whenever I go to bash it and it dies, then I have to carry this 13-pound beast. Upgrades to this car, the wheelie bar, and I have the center diff permanently locked. Not from the controller. I tore it all down yesterday and put a little rubber bushing, basically, in between the bearing and the locking mechanism. So therefore, it's always locked in. The reason I did that was because otherwise it was diffing out and sending a lot of power to the front wheels. And if y'all don't know what that looks like, it basically looks like really big front tires and regular sized rear tires. And that's not really good for acceleration because the front tires is not where the weight is. It's the rear tires. So I went ahead and permanently locked that. All of the diff locks are broken. And the reason is because if y'all don't know what the diff lock is basically like this plastic ring with metal. It's like a plastic ring with like metal little pins sticking out of it. And the metal pins is what actually locks into the diff housing, and then that's what turns them. That's what turns the axles together. The plastic where the plastic ring where the servo goes is really worn out on all 3 diffs, and I don't care to tear into the diffs to replace it because I didn't really drive it with the diff locks in the first place. So I know you're thinking, why did you buy a diff lock truck then? Well, I didn't know I wasn't going to use them until after I bought it and was like, well, I don't do a whole lot of crawling. I just do a whole lot of speed running and jumping. So leaving them locked was detrimental instead of helpful. So yeah, I just went ahead and permanently locked the center diff just to send more power equally to the front and rear wheels. And then also it can do backflips and stuff. Whereas when it was sending more power to the front wheels, it was diffing out and I couldn't get a backflip off. So that's the cars I brought down here. The brushless system I put in this car is actually off of a different car that you haven't seen on the channel yet. Actually, yes, you have. The Ruckus, the big Ruckus that I had on my last Tug War video when I had this car. Now, yes, I have fixed the axle already. This brushless system is from that car, and then I put the brush motor from this car back into the Ruckus. The reason I did that was because this car has a wheelie bar available for it, and the other car doesn't. So this car, I can actually control it when it does 100-yard wheelies, whereas the other car, it would just either flip over or scrape on the bumper and then plop itself back on the front wheels. And then kind of do the up and down thing until its speed got up enough that the power wasn't overwhelming the tires. So that's all for now. I'm going to try and do some bashing with the Nero and revo and then the little Teton. It's behind that mirror. Later today at a skate park, so be prepared for that. If I do this right, it should be coming right now. Okay, out of the skate park. Significantly later in the day because I had some issues with some of my cars, but let's rep the Teton real quick. this car. And here's the damage on this car. The shock oil popped off. Just need to screw that back in, get some oil in it. The back popped off. The good thing is about the back is snap this part together, get back in action, but I kind of need to get some oil in this car, so this is done for now. Okay, the Teton broke. Now it's time to bash the revo. I was getting a little bit of a hang of it, and so it's a little bit later in the day now. Drive shaft again.
Of what?
When to add them. Let's try again. Ready?
Yep. Yeah, basically the issue is that the drive shaft keeps coming off because it's a CV transmission, or not transmission. The drive shaft is CV as opposed to telescoping, so it keeps coming out.
There you go.
No,
Also that point.
he tried.
What the frick? Bro, that's cool.
You like that?
Yeah. What the freak? Bro, I want one though.
About $800.
Never mind.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I think that was 3 backflips. I'm not sure. Axle's out again.
That was like my.
I've got a YouTube channel. I'm gonna post this on later. Dish dude. Dish dude. I used to work at a pizza shop. So
He washed dishes.
I watch dishes.
Excuse me. Now you good, bro?
Quick update on the revo and what you saw broken at the end. It's over here when I'm now back in my dorm. So whenever you see this tire, it's the front left. Whenever you see it kind of off and crooked and stuff like that, the reason it does that is that the bottom pillow ball down here, the threads in the piece of plastic are stripped. So after a couple of hard landings, it'll like wiggle itself loose and then fall out. So what I do is I take the tire off. Depending on like how loose it is, I'll have to take the tire off, screw the pillow ball back in, and then tighten the little piece that holds it in. Or if this is still pretty tight, I'll just stick the Allen head in and then just tighten that up. So that's what I did. I did a little bit more bashing later that night, but it was more of the same. Drive shafts popping out, and then this tire falling off. I did break one thing, though. That arm there is broken all the way through. Whatever. So that's the update on the Revo. It still drives just fine. And until that breaks all the way, I'm just going to keep driving it with it broken. I might look into getting a new lower suspension arm because that's not working right. Now, the reason you didn't see any Nero bashing is because as I was driving it to my car, because I didn't want to carry it, I got this really weird flashing light notification on the ESC. This is what it does whenever I turn it on. I have no clue why it's doing that. I looked up the error codes and it says it either has a bad connection with the receiver, or the transmitter, I mean, not the receiver, or the transmitter's neutral position and the car's neutral position are different. So what I did was, I was like, okay, well, I'll just take off the receiver cover, whatever, rebind it and whatnot. But if you look here, there's no LED lighting up on the receiver. So I was like, okay, well, maybe my receiver's dead. So I took the one out of the rustler, put it in here, and that receiver wouldn't light up either. So I was like, okay, well, now apparently I guess there's a short in the wire running from the ESC over to the receiver. Let me know down in the chat if that's correct or not, and if I do need to get a new ESC, because that's expensive. A little bit of a longer video today, but that's all for now. Thanks, bye.